HTML, hypertext markup language, CSS, cascading style sheets are two core technologies for building web pages. HTML is a markup language that is used to structure the content on the web. It consists of series of elements, and the series of elements declared one inside the other will make up the tree structure in the HTML document. Whereas CSS is used to describe the look and formatting of a document written in HTML. So it allows you to control the appearance of the web page, including layouts, colors, and fonts, etc. We supply our HTML CSS bundle onto the browser, and browser then picks up the HTML, parses them, and creates DOM structure. At the same time, browser also parses the CSS and then understands the CSS expressions and bucketize the CSS into class, IDs, or other combinator selectors. Then finally applies that CSS onto the created DOM structure, and then the combined result will be rendered onto the UI. So this is how the processing of HTML CSS works typically in browser. So we need to understand this process to kind of work better with CSS. So first, HTML tree structure creates, or DOM structure gets created, and then CSS expressions are being identified, and then CSS is applied onto the elements. So that's the overall process. So let's try to understand CSS with a small hello world application. So here is a sample HTML document, and here is an element. So this is the opening tag, this is a closing tag, and this is an attribute and its value. So basically you can write CSS as an attribute and its value, like style attribute is the attribute dedicated to take in CSS and render it onto the element. So you could write color, you could define a color, a red, and if you save it, so basically what's happening here, browser is picking up the HTML and then parsing the HTML, creating a rendering tree or a DOM tree, and then picks up the attributes from the elements and understands that it is a style attribute and it has some style declarations, and then takes up these styles and apply onto the particular element. So that's how it works. So we need to understand how many different types of properties are there and how do we assign some values to those properties to render the desired result on the browser. So that's what about learning CSS is. The standard syntax of CSS is this. So first we will have a selector and then braces. Inside that braces, we'll have a property and its value. We can have multiple properties and assign multiple values to properties. That means we need to understand how many types of selectors are out there and how many different properties are out there, and how can we assign some values to it to get the desired output, to render the element like we exactly imagine. So that's the goal should be.